Yesterday, as of this video's upload, RollerCoaster Tycoon has turned 25 years old. And to celebrate, I thought I should record a video detailing the history of RollerCoaster Tycoon and the game series legacy. In 1994, a young Scottish game developer by the name of Chris Sawyer released Transport Tycoon. The game was originally released for MS-DOS. It was published by Microprose. This game involves the use and evolution of transportation. These include cars, trains, ships, and planes. With the money he made off this game, he spent it towards traveling throughout Europe and the United States, which included visits to theme parks with roller coasters. Though he hated roller coasters before, he became fond of them through those trips, and has since become a coaster enthusiast, ridden over 700 coasters. From these trips, Sawyer decided to follow Transport Tycoon with a roller coaster-based simulation, giving him a partial excuse to continue visiting theme parks to research roller coaster rides. The game was to be called White Knuckle for a majority of game's development. However, the following edition of the Tycoon titles, the game was renamed accordingly. The game was developed in a small village near Dunblane over the course of 2 years. Most of the game's code was written in Microsoft Macro Server, with the remaining 1% written in C. The graphics were pre-written by artist Simon Foster, using 3D modeling, rendering, and paint programs. Hasbro would publish the game and would do some bug testing. The game was released in North America on March 22nd, 1999. Upon the game's initial release in March 1999, the game received mixed to positive reviews. While Allgame would give it only a 3 out of 5, other reviewers were positive. Eurogamer gave it an 8 out of 10. GamePro gave it a 9 out of 10. And GameSpot would give it an 8.6 out of 10. And the UK's own PC Gamer would give it a 91 out of 100. The game was a huge success. It became a top seller for PC. The game was good, but there needed to be more. In the time before DLC, expansion packs were the way to add new content into games, and this was no exception with RollerCoaster Tycoon. Corkscrew Follies, or Added Attractions in the UK, was the first expansion pack. This expansion pack added a few new rides, including Flying Saucers, the Cycle Railway, Miniature Golf, the Crooked House, the Chairlift, the Side Friction Coaster, the Virginia Reel Coaster, the Reverser Coaster, the Flurless Coaster, which had just debuted that year for 1999, actually, the Twister and Stand-Up Twister, the Hyper Twister, the Heartlight Twister, the Articulated Wooden Coaster, based on GCI's concept for Millennium Flyer trains, the Roto Drop, based on the newly opened drop zone at Kings Island, the lowest drop tower, Splash Boats, and along with some whole new sceneries and new scenarios, including Dream Monkeys Park, Haunted Harbor, Future World, Funtopia, Jolly Jungle, Thunderstorm Park, Swamp Cove, Giggle Downs, and the recreation of the UK theme park, All the Towers. The final expansion pack to the original RCT would come late in 2000. It would be known as Loopy Landscapes. This would add not just new rides, but also a whole lot of new construction options, building options, music, and more freedom. But, of course, new rides include American-style steam train, the inverted shuttle coaster, based on Vacoba's new inverted go ball, the inverted coaster train, largely based on Vacoba's SLC, the hypercoaster, based on Arrow's hypercoaster, the air-powered vertical coaster, based on S&S's then new air-powered coaster, the water coaster, based on premier rides failed concept for a water coaster. The Enterprise, the jet skis, the river rafts, and some new scenarios, including Crater Lake, Arid Heights, Paradise Pier 2, Sunny Swamps, Dusty Desert, Pleasure Island, Nevermore Park, Mega World Park, and the always infamous Micro Park. Even with those 2 expansion packs, there still needs to be more new. And that's where RollerCoaster Tycoon 2 comes in. RollerCoaster Tycoon 2, released late in 2002, was basically a very big enhancement and upgrade. While the game largely uses the same engine, the graphics look much better. And along with the fact, new features were added, like the ability to stack scenery, the scenario editor, the sandbox mode, known as the roller coaster creator, icons for variations of cars, and tons of new rides, including the flying turrets, the inverted vertical shuttle based on the new Vekoma Giant Inverted Boomerang, the flying roller coaster based on the new B&M Flyer, the inverted impulse coaster based on the new Intimate Impulse, the LIM Launch, the My Ride, automobile cars, the toboggan cars, the multi-dimension coaster, the spiral coaster, the hyper twister with the Goliath style cars, the soapbox derby racers, the Sweetie Forest cars, the spinning wild mouse, and much more. The old scenarios would not return, being replaced with new scenarios, and a lot of these new scenarios were, of course, not really as well received as the old games, as a lot more effort came into one aspect, heavily bringing up the level of the real parks. You find old towers and Black Blizzard Beach was said, well, they did something really insane. They added 5 whole Six Flags parks. They loved it so much that they slapped it on the box. But by 2004, the game had done changed. RollerCoaster Tycoon 3. RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 would be a completely different beast from the past 2 games, featuring full 3D graphics, and a marketing campaign centered around the fact that you could ride the rides. Yes, finally, you can ride the rides. This was zero insane at the time, and I couldn't blame you if you thought it was insane, because you could ride the rides. And as for the expansion packs, we've got RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 Soaked and RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 Wild, which both, as you can tell by the titles, added water parks and animals respectively. And oh boy, RollerCoaster Tycoon 3 also beefed up the community input to the community. Within months of this game's release, people were modding this game to death, adding in custom scenery all over the place, and not to mention the stuff people created with this then novel site called YouTube. People would recreate any coaster that ever existed, from more famous installations like Space Mountain or Millennium Force or Time for Dragster, to more obscure stuff like Phoenix and Knobles, or, you know, any coaster, yeah, your county fair or whatever. And yeah, that was pretty impressive seeing all these coasters being made in some computer game. There were also several fads with the game that aren't recreations, like for example, the box coasters. A bunch of checkerboard ribs that was an idea coined by Mookin FTW. And, well, if you're watching this video, Mookin, I just like to say, you are a legend to the community for creating this. You're just a legend, man. But anyway, with the rise of the internet, all three games practically became meme material, often getting very corny memes, with fan-made coasters often lasting hours on end, alongside very obvious stuff like the box coasters and all the recreations. RollerCoaster Tycoon was getting a huge audience, but sadly, Atari just wanted to take some time off. And in 2012, they would finally give us what we've all been waiting for. A free-to-play mobile game. How disappointing. In 2016, the long-awaited sequel finally came out that wasn't a free-to-play mobile game. RollerCoaster Tycoon World. This game would also be disappointing. And would definitely have a lot of bugs and just overall just not really too bright of a simulator, and well, the RCT franchise was dead again. But it wasn't gonna die, per se. Frontier, developers of RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, were down, but they were not out, as they would break ties with Atari and RollerCoaster Tycoon and create something even better. Welcome to Planet Coaster, ladies and gents, boys and girls. This was the new generation of roller coaster simulation games. It had everything you would ever want and then some. It would modernize the genre of coaster simulated building thingies, and then some. There was just so much new, so much to see, so much to do, so much wrong with thinking the message. Sorry, I had to. Anyway, RollerCoaster Tycoon. Looking at RollerCoaster Tycoon nowadays, it's kind of a dead franchise, except for remakes. Like, they have remade RollerCoaster Tycoon. Like, don't get me wrong. And but the important thing is that Chris Sawyer has envisioned millions of RollerCoaster fanatics around the world. Several of the designers credit RollerCoaster Tycoon with helping him get into the industry. And, well, even long after Chris Sawyer sadly inevitably passes away, RollerCoaster Tycoon will still be remembered as one of the all-time greats in video games. And that's a wrap on 25 years of RollerCoaster Tycoon in 14 minutes. Thank you.